Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Oliver from the Prendergast Library again, here with another video about our city's history. Sorry about the noise. You can see we're actually not inside the library today. We are outside at Lake View Cemetary at the Prendergast Family Monument. So, as you can see here, this monument has the history of James Prendergast, his son Alexander, and then Alexander's son James again. Of course, that James is the James that our library is named after. But what we're here to talk today about is not this monument itself, but the statue that's no longer here. So, let me pull up my notes that I have. Okay. Where this monument now stands, a different statue once stood guard over the family graves of the James Prendergast family. The statue that used to reside here was of a woman in a Hellenic garb, so ancient Greek garb, and she had her hair pulled back in a hood, and she stood like this, one hand on her chin with her elbow resting in her other hand. And that statue stood there until the mid-1880s. And then in the mid-1880s, that statue was actually moved to what at the time was the front yard of the Prendergast Library, near the original Prendergast Library entrance. And she stood there for the next 40 years. Now, the statue's had different names. It's been called Silence, it's been called the Thoughtful Lady, and everywhere it's been, it's had a new name was attributed to it. But the idea was always that quiet contemplation. So after this granite monument behind me was installed, like I said, she moved to the library. And then in 1928, the statue was taken in for some restoration work. And because of some of the expansions that were going on at the library, the decision was made to not bring that statue back. And instead, the statue was again moved. But this time, instead of just moving across town, it was actually moved to Pennsylvania. And according to Sam Jenko, who works at the Lake View Cemetery, this statue was added to the gardens of Albert C. Restaurant in Wrightsville, Pennsylvania. He was a welder, and he had kind of an eccentric history. And that statue stayed there for another 40 years. And then, after the death of Western and his wife, it was auctioned off. After it was auctioned off, it moved to an antique dealer in Clarendon, and then it moved to another auction house in Western, and then we kind of lost a trail of where it was after that. Sam Jenko believes that he's tracked it down, and it's actually standing in place in another cemetery, standing over another family plot there. And so this statue has come full service on a life of standing quiet guardianship over graves. It's gone from here to our library to now a new family plot. So if you ever get a chance to come here, this is a very interesting monument. So not only the history it has here, we have the family of the Prendergasts on this side, the family of the Thompsons on this side, and the Thompsons were the in-laws of James Prendergast the Elder. And then all around us, there's a lot more family history of Jamestown and its early residents. So, once again, I'm Oliver from the Prendergast Library, hoping you have a good day.